The sun rose over the horizon, its golden light filtering through the leaves of the ancient Bodhi tree. Disciples gathered near the Buddha, sitting in a semicircle, awaiting his words of wisdom with reverent anticipation. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers and the gentle rustle of leaves. A stream meandered nearby, its waters shimmering under the morning sunlight, flowing with an unhurried grace. The Buddha sat cross-legged, his eyes closed, radiating a serene presence that calmed the hearts of all present. He opened his eyes and looked at the disciples with a gaze full of compassion. His voice, calm and steady, broke the silence. "Do you hear the sound of the stream?" he asked, his words carrying a gentle weight. The disciples nodded, their curiosity sparked by his question. "The stream has a lesson to teach us today," the Buddha continued, gesturing toward the flowing water. Buddha continued, his tone steady, "Your thoughts are much like these reflections. They arise, they shift, and they fade, impermanent as clouds in the sky." The disciples followed him, their robes rustling softly in the morning breeze. Reaching the stream, the Buddha knelt and dipped his hand into the cool, clear water. He retrieved a small pebble from the streambed and held it in his hand. "This pebble has been here for countless years," he said, turning it over in his palm. "Its sharp edges have been worn smooth by the water's touch." The disciples watched intently, their eyes fixed on the pebble, awaiting the wisdom that would follow. The Buddha placed the pebble back into the water, where it settled naturally, undisturbed by the flow. "The stream flows tirelessly," the Buddha said, his voice merging with the gentle murmur of the water. "It adapts to every obstacle it meets, never losing its way. The pebble, in its stillness, accepts the flow of the water without resistance." He looked at the disciples, his gaze penetrating yet kind. "What do you learn from this pebble and the stream?" One disciple, a young man named Sundari, spoke hesitantly. "Master, the stream represents time, and the pebble symbolizes life. Both are interconnected, shaping each other through their interaction." The Buddha nodded, acknowledging the insight, but his expression suggested there was more to uncover. Another disciple added, "The stream teaches us persistence, and the pebble teaches us acceptance. Together, they reveal harmony." The Buddha smiled gently and said, "These are truths, but let us look deeper. The stream and the pebble embody the essence of the Dharma." He pointed to the stream, its waters gliding smoothly over rocks and around bends. The stream flows with purpose yet without attachment. It adapts to obstacles, finding its path without resistance. It does not judge the rocks it encounters, nor does it linger upon them. He turned his attention back to the pebble, which now glistened under the sunlight. The pebble, though still, is not stagnant. It surrenders to the stream's touch, allowing itself to be shaped. In its stillness, it embodies acceptance and harmony with the flow of life. The disciples listened intently, their minds absorbing the Buddha's words. A gentle breeze carried the sound of the stream and the rustling of leaves, creating a symphony of nature's harmony. The Buddha continued, his voice resonating with a calm authority. "Be like the stream, unyielding in your purpose yet adaptable in your approach. Flow around obstacles without anger or despair." He paused, allowing the disciples to contemplate his teachings before continuing. "Be like the pebble, accepting of life's touch without clinging or aversion. In stillness, find harmony with the flow around you." The Buddha walked a few steps along the stream, his movements fluid and deliberate. The disciples followed, their minds turning over his words, seeking to apply them to their own lives. "The stream and the pebble," the Buddha said, gesturing to both, "are not separate. They exist in a dance of interdependence, each shaping and being shaped by the other. This is the truth of interconnectedness, a cornerstone of the Dharma." His words hung in the air, resonating deeply within the hearts of the disciples. Ananda, emboldened by the teachings, asked, "Master, how can we embody the qualities of the stream and the pebble in our daily lives?" The Buddha turned to him, his expression serene yet thoughtful. "Begin with mindfulness," he said. "Observe the flow of your thoughts, emotions, and actions as you would the stream." He walked back towards the Bodhi tree, the disciples following closely, their steps quieter than before. When faced with challenges, the Buddha continued, "Approach them as the stream approaches rocks. Adapt, flow around them, and continue your journey." He paused, looking at each disciple in turn, his gaze unwavering. "And when life touches you, as the stream touches the pebble, accept it with grace and equanimity. Let it shape you into a being of wisdom and compassion." The Buddha returned to his seat under the Bodhi tree, his presence grounding and profound. The disciples sat before him, their faces reflecting a mixture of wonder and understanding. The stream continued its gentle journey, its sound now a reminder of the lessons imparted. "Remember," the Buddha said, his voice soft but firm, "the stream and the pebble teach us not through words but through their existence. Observe, reflect, and embody their wisdom." The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude and resolve. The Buddha closed his eyes, returning to silent meditation, his connection to the present moment unbroken. The sun climbed higher in the sky, its light illuminating the scene. As the stream and the pebble continued their silent dialogue, the disciples remained seated, their minds quiet, the teachings settling within them like seeds in fertile soil. The lessons of the stream and the pebble became a part of them, guiding their paths forward with clarity and purpose. Another day, another lesson. The sun set gently, casting hues of orange and gold across the tranquil landscape. Disciples gathered near the Buddha, seated under the tall trees that reached towards the heavens. Ananda approached carrying a lantern, his face thoughtful and his steps cautious on the dimly lit path. The evening air carried a cool breeze, accompanied by the faint scent of jasmine from nearby flowering bushes. Ananda knelt before the Buddha, holding the lantern as twilight deepened into night. "Master," he said quietly, "the path ahead is dark and uncertain. I fear we may lose our way without light." The Buddha accepted the lantern, its unlit form silent, waiting to fulfill its purpose. The disciples watched, their attention drawn to the interplay between light and shadow as darkness enveloped the space. The Buddha ignited the lantern, its flame flickering to life, casting warm, golden light on the surroundings. Its glow was modest, illuminating only the immediate vicinity, leaving much of the pathway shrouded in mystery. "This lantern," the Buddha said, "is enough to light your next step. Yet, it does not reveal the whole journey." Ananda hesitated, looking from the lantern's glow to the unlit distance. "Master," he said, "how can we proceed when we do not see the entirety of the way ahead?" The Buddha responded, his voice calm and deliberate, "If you wait for certainty, you may never begin your journey. Each step illuminates the path forward." He handed the lantern back to Ananda, its flame steady, unwavering despite the breeze. "This lantern represents mindfulness, the light of the present moment," the Buddha explained. "When you stay present, you reveal the truth before you, one step at a time." The disciples listened closely, their minds seeking to grasp the lesson within the Buddha's words. "Life's path is not always clear," the Buddha said, his gaze steady as he addressed all gathered. "The desire to see the entire journey can lead to hesitation and fear." He gestured to the lantern's light, now casting long shadows on the ground. "This light is enough. If you allow it to guide each mindful step forward." The disciples sat in silence, the flame's warmth drawing their focus as the Buddha spoke. "Do not seek to conquer the darkness all at once," he said. his voice resonating with wisdom. Trust in the light that mindfulness provides, revealing what lies directly before you. The Buddha rose from his seat and began walking along the path, each step illuminated by the lantern Ananda carried. He turned to the disciples who followed him, their shadows moving like companions in the lantern's glow. Each step taken with care and attention prepares you for the next, he said. The path reveals itself through your movement, not your waiting. The group walked together, the flame guiding their way, a metaphor for life's unfolding nature. The Buddha paused, allowing the disciples to absorb his teachings as the evening deepened into night. The stars emerged, their light distant yet steady, complementing the lantern's nearer glow. Consider the stars, the Buddha said, pointing to the sky. They shine, yet they do not light your immediate path. They remind you of the vastness beyond. One disciple asked, Master, how can we trust the path when uncertainty surrounds us? The Buddha replied, his voice steady and assured, uncertainty is inherent to life. Embrace it as you would the night sky, vast and filled with possibility. He continued walking, his movements fluid, his presence calming those around him. The lantern flickered briefly, its flame dancing in the evening breeze before steadying again. Life's challenges may dim your light, the Buddha said. Yet with mindfulness, you reignite your resolve, continuing forward step by step. Ananda, carrying the lantern, felt its warmth against his hands, its purpose now clearer to him. The Buddha stopped near a clearing, where the ground was soft and covered with fallen leaves. He knelt and motioned for the disciples to gather closely. This lantern's light is finite, he said. It will not last forever. Yet it is enough for the moment. The disciples nodded, their expressions thoughtful as the Buddha continued. Mindfulness, like the lantern, is your tool for navigating life's uncertainties, the Buddha said. It reveals the beauty and truth of the present. He gestured towards the horizon, now a blend of deep blue and black, punctuated by distant starlight. Beyond this moment lies another, waiting to be illuminated when you arrive. The disciples sat with the Buddha, their hearts resonating with his teachings. The lantern's flame burned steadily, its glow a reminder of the power of mindfulness. Trust in the process, the Buddha said. The light of understanding grows with each step, transforming fear into clarity. His words hung in the air, their simplicity profound. The disciples bowed, their movements respectful and deliberate. As they internalized the wisdom imparted, the Buddha returned to his seat beneath the trees, his connection to the present moment unbroken. The flame of the lantern danced softly, its light steady against the backdrop of night's uncertainty. The disciples remained, reflecting on the power of mindfulness to guide their paths forward. Another day, another lesson. The morning air was crisp, carrying the promise of renewal as sunlight bathed the meditation hall. Disciples gathered quietly, their robes softly swaying as they entered, their hearts filled with expectation. The Buddha sat at the center of the hall, his presence calming and radiant, exuding wisdom and tranquility. On the wall hung a polished bronze mirror, its surface gleaming, reflecting the serene faces of those who entered. The Buddha gestured toward the mirror, his voice gentle yet firm. This mirror shows your reflection. But what do you truly see? The disciples gazed at the mirror, their expressions contemplative, seeking to understand the deeper meaning of the Buddha's words. Sundari, a disciple known for her thoughtful observations, spoke first. Master, I see my face and the weariness of my travels, she said, her tone introspective. Another disciple added, I see my youth and vigor, yet I also see my attachment to them, fearing their inevitable decline. The Buddha listened, his gaze unwavering, as each disciple shared their perceptions of the mirror's reflection. He nodded, acknowledging their insights. Before speaking, this mirror reflects not only the body but also the mind. What you perceive is shaped by thoughts and emotions. The room fell silent as the disciples absorbed his words, their attention fixed on the mirror's surface. The Buddha rose and walked slowly toward the mirror, his movements deliberate and fluid. He stood before the mirror and asked, "How does the mirror change its reflection?" The disciples looked puzzled, unsure of how to respond to such a question. The Buddha continued, his voice steady and calm. "The mirror changes its reflection when the mind changes. It is a vessel that reveals your inner state." He turned to face the disciples, his gaze gentle yet penetrating. "If your heart is clouded by craving and aversion, its reflection distorts. But when your heart is still and clear, it reflects truth." Sundari, emboldened by the Buddha's teachings, asked, "Master, how can we polish the mirror of our hearts to reflect truth?" The Buddha smiled faintly, his expression serene, and replied, "Wisdom and compassion are the tools that polish the heart's mirror. Through them, clarity emerges." He gestured toward the disciples to gather closely, inviting them to reflect upon his words. The Buddha took a cloth and gently polished the surface of the bronze mirror. "Each stroke represents a mindful action," he said. "Each act of compassion removes the dust of illusion that clouds the heart." The disciples watched, their eyes fixed on the mirror, now gleaming more brightly under the morning light. "When the heart is clear," the Buddha said, "it sees the world as it truly is, free from illusion." The disciples sat in quiet contemplation, their faces reflecting both the teachings and their inner reflections. The Buddha continued, his voice resonating with calm authority. "The heart, like the mirror, requires care and attention. Neglect allows the dust of ignorance to settle and distort the truth." He walked slowly back to his seat, his presence grounding and profound. The Buddha gestured to the mirror once more. "What you see in this mirror is a reflection of your journey. It reveals where wisdom and compassion are needed." The disciples nodded, their expressions thoughtful, as they considered the implications of the Buddha's teachings. Sundari spoke again, her voice steady yet reverent. "Master, does the mirror ever become fully polished, free from all dust?" The Buddha replied, his tone gentle yet firm. "The polishing of the heart is a lifelong process. Each moment offers an opportunity for refinement and growth." He paused, allowing the disciples to contemplate his words before continuing. "The goal is not perfection, but authenticity. A heart that seeks truth reflects it more clearly each day." The room remained quiet, the disciples absorbed in thought, their minds turning over the Buddha's teachings. The mirror, now polished, seemed to glow softly under the sunlight streaming through the meditation hall. The Buddha's voice broke the silence, carrying a profound sense of compassion. "Look into this mirror and see not just your form, but your intention. Ask yourself what you wish to reflect." Ananda, seated near the Buddha, asked, "Master, how can we know when our reflection is true and not distorted by illusion?" The Buddha turned to him, his gaze steady, and said, "Truth resonates with peace and clarity. Illusion stirs discontent and confusion within the heart." The disciples listened closely, their minds seeking to grasp the deeper layers of meaning in his words. The Buddha gestured to the mirror one final time. "This mirror is but a tool. The true mirror resides within, in the depths of your heart." His voice softened, yet carried an undeniable power. "Polish this inner mirror with each act of kindness, each moment of mindfulness, and each thought of wisdom." The disciples bowed deeply, their movements deliberate and filled with respect. The Buddha returned to his seat, closing his eyes in silent meditation, his presence grounding those around him. The disciples remained seated, their hearts reflecting the wisdom imparted, the lessons settling within them like seeds in fertile soil. The mirror, now gleaming brightly, became a reminder of their inner journey, guiding them toward clarity and authenticity. Siddhartha's presence radiated peace, a guiding light for those gathered around him. The group returned to the forest, their hearts united in purpose and their minds ready to tread the path of awakening. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.